Hey y'all, whoever's watching, I got 4 people watching. I'm trying to fix my picture, but I can't fix my picture. I got my other device on. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Okay. Happy Monday, y'all. Have y'all gotten into the are y'all in a festive mood? Have y'all gotten into the holiday spirit? I'm making cranberry tea because I'm in the holiday spirit. So what are y'all doing? What are you doing? If you come across this video, I think my phone switched up on me, so I'm in a I'm in a how do I fix that? Hold on a second. I don't know how I fix it. I'll fix it later. But what are you guys doing? I'm gonna go walking in a few minutes so we can walk and talk. But I just came on here because I wanted to go live on YouTube. I don't go live on YouTube much, so we're gonna go live on YouTube. We're gonna get back into that StreamYard when I get ready to walk. It's so pretty outside, y'all. I don't know what it looks like where you are, but it's pretty outside. It's pretty out here. And thank you for that thumbs up. I don't know who it was, but thank you for the thumbs up. But most importantly, thank you for stopping by here and spending a minute or two on this live with me because I won't be on here long. I just wanted to do it's basically a testing live to see some things and to see some things I need to fix and switch up and change on this phone, because going live on these phones can be so convenient, but they can be so they can be so not convenient sometimes. Sometimes it's nothing like your laptop. So I'm in the kitchen right now and I'm making some cranberry tea. Some cranberry tea. And it's good. I've already made one. I've made 1 cup of it. So I'm about to make a whole picture of it, and it's good. If y'all come across this video, let me know what you guys are doing today, this new day, this new Monday, this new week. What are you up to? Just leave it, drop it in the chat. Come back, y'all come back and leave a comment after the video. If you don't want to leave a comment during the video, leave a comment after the video. If you haven't subscribed though, please make sure you do that. Subscribe, and help each other out. Subscribe to anybody. If you've been in my chat before, subscribe to any of the content creators that you have seen in my chat. Subscribe to them. Hopefully they've subscribed to you if you hold the channel. If you don't hold the channel, just do your part to support people. Do your part to support people. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt a thing. So it's early in the day still. Kind of. Well, it's not early in the day, but it's early evening. So in a few minutes, I'm going to put some walking clothes on. We're going to get outside. We're going to come back. We're going to walk. We're going to talk about some things. We're going to talk about some holiday things. We're going to talk about some of the things going on in the world. We're going to talk about anything that you want to talk about, as long as it's informative, educational in some way, and just something kind of cool to kick back and talk about. Just something that's kind of cool to kick back and talk about. Something that may be on your mind. Do you want to get somebody else's opinion on it? Come on back when we do the Let's Walk and Talk live and talk to the people in the chat. Let them know how you're feeling. See how they're feeling. Again, I hope each and every one of you guys are in the holiday spirit. I hope that you're getting into the holiday spirit. If you don't celebrate the holidays, still doesn't hurt you to get into the spirit of the holidays, to get into the mood. A lot of times we say we don't celebrate holidays, but what you can do is you can take that time to celebrate some things that are important to you. So you don't have to celebrate the holidays. You do what you want to do. Everybody has their reasons for doing what they do. If you celebrate the holidays, that's fine. If you don't celebrate the holidays, that's fine. But what I implore each and every one of you guys to do is to just think about the next person. If you don't celebrate the holidays, that's all good. but don't be a Debbie Downer. Don't down somebody else who does celebrate the holiday. Say what say what you do, say what you don't do, that's fine. But like it's not, it's not some big new thing if you don't celebrate the holiday. So try not to bring other people's spirits down when you say that. I often hear people say, well, I don't celebrate the holiday, and that's cool, that's fine, they move on. But then I hear other people that say they don't celebrate the holidays because of this and that and the other and the third. But at the same time, they do still celebrate things. I bet they accept birthday gifts. I bet during the holidays, if someone gives them something for free, I bet they accept it. So if you're accepting gifts, if you're giving gifts at any point in time, then you celebrate something. And I guess maybe for some people, they only celebrate their birthdays. But I implore you to, if you don't celebrate the holiday, that's fine. Still keep a festive spirit about yourselves. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Don't be a Debbie Downer. If you don't celebrate it, it's all good. Because I saw someone the other day, and he was saying he didn't celebrate the holidays. Okay, that's fine. You don't celebrate the holidays. But why do I need to hear about how it's pagan, is this, is that, and the other? And you don't celebrate it. But last I checked, somebody gave you a gift not too long ago and you accepted it. So you celebrate something. You celebrate something. Because for most people, a lot of people, we get what the true meaning of these holidays are supposed to mean. And we research, we dive deep, and we delve into what they're supposed to mean, and we get it. But sometimes, we are human, and sometimes it's just nice to celebrate some things in a way that it doesn't have to be sadistic. It doesn't have to be sadistic, but it can be in a way that it uplifts you, it uplifts somebody, it uplifts your family. It's just a good mood to be in, to celebrate some things sometimes. You don't always have to focus on the fact that it is a certain holiday to celebrate. So try to take that time to be more positive, to be uplifting, to be encouraging, and just to have to be in a better mood. To be in a better mood. We know that everybody doesn't celebrate holidays. We've heard it. Like we've heard it loud and clearly from those of you who said it. Just like I'm sure some of you feel like you've heard it, that we do celebrate. And I much rather be in a positive place, a positive state of mind, than a negative one. So just, hey, Susan, I miss you too, sis. Where you been? What's up with you today? Happy Monday. First of all, happy new day. Happy Monday. Happy new week. It's the month of December. It's the month of December already, Susan. You know what? I've been talking about this all summer, that all during the summer, I kept saying that summer is gonna fly by, and the next thing you know, it'll be the holiday season. And guess what? It did. It flew by, and it's the holiday season. Next thing you know, we'll be saying Happy New Year. And look, some of us say that well into March, like we were saying Happy New Year. And those are good times to look forward to. Good times to celebrate, good times to be with family and friends, good times to get your mind right, to like try to have a new beginning, like a new start. Like I think I titled this video, New Day, New Monday, New Week. So with each new day, no matter what's going on, things are going to be going on. We're going to have some ups and downs, but with everything that is going on, try to be in a different mindset, in a more positive mindset, like a new day. Even though some of the things that come with that day are not new, there's sometimes things that we're battling with and that we're dealing with. And be grateful and thankful for a new day, to try and make some type of change, to try and deliver yourself into a better place. So if anybody comes across this video, I don't know what you're going through, or you may be going through, or you may, have something that it's going to be kind of rough. Whatever it is, just try to, grind, put your head down and grind and strive for better. Try and picture yourself in a better place, in a better state of mind, in a better mood, regardless of what's going on. Again, I always say that's easier said than done, but try to take some deep breaths and relax. Try to take some deep breaths and relax, because whatever is going on, sometimes we just can't change those things. Sometimes we can't, and it's sad and unfortunate. But as long as you have breath, hopefully you can try to work on it. Work on it. Susan says, oh my, a lot going on. My husband had surgery and just finished chemo. Okay. So is that, I haven't seen you. It's a wild ride. Susan, praying, sending prayers to your husband, to you and your family. I'm hoping that everything, you say he's just finished, so that sounds positive and encouraging that he just finished. I know that he's glad to be done. I know that you're glad he's done. Yeah, I think we all do, Susan. We need that positivity no matter what we're going through. We all need the positivity no matter what we're going through, no matter what we've been through, no matter what we have to go through. We all need that positivity. And it's like, what better time of the year to try your best to be encouraged, to try your best and to be positive, to try your best to uplift someone who really needs it. Anyone comes across this chat, y'all, we are uplifting Susan and her husband. We are. We're uplifting them because they've just gone through a wild ride. Like she said, a wild ride. And everybody goes through a wild ride sometimes. At some point in life you do. On more than one or two occasions, you do. So just always try and be encouraging. Again, it's that time of the year where everything may not be perfect. Things aren't always perfect, but hopefully you're in a festive mood. You're in a joyful mood. And again, if you don't celebrate the holidays, that's fine. We want you guys to be in the festive mood as well. You know, don't be Debbie Downers. Don't be negative Nancy's. If you don't celebrate the holidays, that's fine. That's fine. I hear that a lot, but you know, try not to down people who do, because a lot of times it's just the positivity. It's just the time of the year. It's just seeing all the beautiful things that you see during this time of year. It gets cold, but yet and still people like to be out. Not everybody. Like, I don't like to be out a lot, but I do like to get out and to enjoy the the surroundings, enjoy the atmosphere or different places, just people out and about shopping. You know, I think they said that more money was spent this Black Friday than they anticipated. So, you know, hopefully things are looking better for people financially as well. I really, really, really do mean that. I hope that things are looking better for people financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, and financially. Because, you know, they say money makes the world go round, but I think power doesn't always equate to those with the most money. Those with the most power don't always have the most money. So, you know, and power can be a tricky thing too. So if you do have power in any way, shape, or form, if you have power, use that power in the best way possible. Use that power in a good way. Like Susan says, the positivity. I think we all need positivity. We all need some positive vibes, and that's why I really do enjoy this time of year. A lot of times things happen, you know, during this time of the year. A lot of times people are depressed during this time of the year. But, you know, even through those battles, even through those things, try your best to get through it. Try your best to stay focused on short-term goals, but keep the long-term goals at the forefront. But allow your short-term focus to be on your short-term goals, because the more short-term goals you meet, most likely in life, you're closer to your long-term goals. So I see a lot of times, and I think I talked about this before, we are so focused. We're so focused on like long-term goals, and we should be. We really do. We should be. But a lot of the times, excuse me, a lot of the times, if you break those plans down and put them in kind of like short-term perspectives, looking at them from a short-term perspective, create some short-term goals, that will allow you to get to your long-term goals probably faster than you even imagined to begin with. So Susan, I'm glad you came through on this live. I'm trying to stay on here for like 20 minutes. I don't go live through YouTube a lot, but I do want to go live through YouTube, and I'm going to do my walk and talk in a little while, probably about 30 minutes or so. Talk about some things, talk to some people. Hopefully some more people can come through. If you come through and catch this live on the replay, give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. If you haven't subscribe. Come back. Turn on all notifications if you would like. You don't have to turn on all notifications. I just like for people to do what they want to do. And if you want to come back, you'll feel inclined to come back by turning on notification. All notifications. We don't always have to say that. People will come back. People will come back. Try to have that thing about you or about yourself. Try to have that aura that'll just make people want to come back and just chill out. Even if they don't participate in the chat, even if they don't say much to you, just try to come over here and chill out. That's what I like to do over here in Lions Pride. We like to chill out because there's so much other stuff going on in the app. You can go out there and find some of that stuff, but when you want to come chill out and relax and just kick it and just shoot the breeze, we can do that. We're looking for things we're trying to discuss and talk about things that help improve our way of life, that help improve our mental state, that help improve our physical state, hence the walk and talk. I just want you guys to walk. Even if you don't talk, just get up and walk with me. Get those joints moving, get those arms moving, get those legs moving, get your mind to moving, moving. We can't get our minds to move. Get your minds to move. Don't be in a rut. If you're in a rut, find you something to do, whether it's come back to my Let's Walk and Talk, whether it's to find something more stimulating on an app, but most importantly, find you something that's stimulating for you to do besides looking at devices. Go outside, walk around your yard. If you don't want to walk around the neighborhood, if you don't want to go to the park, walk around your yard. Just walk around your yard, take you some deep breaths in and out, a few good, strong, deep breaths in and out. Pay attention to how you feel mentally. Pay attention to the way you're breathing. Pay attention to the way your heart beats. Count your heartbeat. How many of you guys count your heartbeat? How many of you guys take your blood pressure at least once a month, or once every 3 months, or once every 6 months? Those are the kinds of things that we need to be doing. We need to be more mindful of the things. We need to be more mindful of ourselves and what we're doing, what we're going through. I encourage everyone to just stop sometimes. Take you a few deep breaths in and out. Count your respirations. Count your heartbeat. Focus on your mental. I know it's good to be able to multitask, y'all. It's good to be able to multitask, but sometimes you need to focus, and you can focus on 2 or 3 important things at a time. I'm telling you, if you focus on your short-term goals, focusing on those short-term goals are often they lead you to your long-term goals a lot sooner than you would imagine. A lot of times we set long-term goals and we're so focused on those long-term goals that when it seems like it's taking us forever to get there, we get discouraged. So don't get discouraged. If you have a long-term goal and you notice that you keep falling back or you keep taking steps back, start to set more short-term goals related to that long-term goal, and you'll find that it'll become easier. Hey, Triple. Hey, Lions in chat. Hey, Triple. Hey, Triple. Hey, Triple. How you doing? Glad to see you here, Triple. Glad that you are here. I'm just trying to throw out some words of encouragement before I do my walk and talk live. And I came through YouTube because I'm always on StreamYard. So I just decided to come on YouTube for a minute. I got to figure out, I turn my thing to portrait and I'm looking at my other device and it's not portrait. So I gotta figure that out. I'm sure it's simple. I gotta go in the settings and do something. It was something I didn't do in the settings, but we're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right. And if y'all are here, I hope that you would come back. If you come through here, I hope that you come back because we're gonna walk and talk, and we're gonna talk about some stuff. We're gonna talk about the 70-year-old Ugandan woman who just had twins. That's what we want to talk about. So Susan, Triple, Jill. Hey, Jill. Hey, Jill. Jill says, I'm listening, but working. Okay, I appreciate you, Jill, for listening and working. Jill says, hello, everyone. Y'all, we're going to talk about it because I'm sure it's going to be the topic of discussion for some people. But I just saw on Sherry Shepherd's show. And so after I saw her show, I looked it up. There's a 70-year-old Ugandan woman who has just had twins. She used a donor and her mate's donation. I'll say that because I don't know how much they want us to say on here, okay? So she used a donor. She used an egg donor, and she used her own mate's um deposit. I'll say she used her own mate's deposit. And so now she has delivered twins, y'all. I don't know if it's two boys, two girls, a boy and a girl. I don't know what it is, but her mate is the father, and they use a donor for the egg. So she is 70 years old. She lives in Uganda, and she says that she's going to depend on her village to help her with these twins, y'all. These twins. I mean, I don't know. Yes, Susan, it is a miracle. That is a miracle. And I know people are saying, like, well, it was artificial insemination. But guess what? If it was not something that God wanted to allow, it would not have happened. So it is definitely a miracle. Um, and I don't know exactly the details behind it, but whatever happened, sometimes people get artificially inseminated and they end up with 4, 5, 6 babies. But this 70-year-old woman from Uganda has been artificially inseminated and has now delivered twins. And it was so funny. I don't know if you guys watch Sherry, but if you come through here and you watch Sherry, you probably saw it today. But Sherry was so funny when she talked about the stages that you go through with these children, and how at 70 she needs to be prepared. Like, does she not remember? I don't know if the lady has children, has adult children or not. But yeah, she's gonna go through those stages with those kids. But I mean, that's what she wanted. That's what she has. So she and her mate, and I'm wondering, I don't know how old her mate is. But the lady, after delivering the kids, she was sitting up. She was sitting up in her hospital bed. And she just had this look of like being unfazed. Like, yeah, I just delivered twins. Now what? So I'm like, I hope the village does I hope the village does come together and help her. I hope people don't take on the attitude of, well, you knew you were 70 years old and you had these twins, because it worked. The artificial insemination did work. So those babies were meant to be here. They are here. And she has twins. She has a set of twins. So, but it was funny when Sherry talked about she just talked about her experience when it's like parent teacher conference. She was like, does this lady not know how many parent teacher conferences she has to go through and sit through? She talked about the fact that it was like, for her, just getting through the Zoom and setting up the Zoom and all that kind of stuff was like a headache. She talked about the stages, the terrible twos. She talked about the teenage stage and the talking back and the slamming doors and the you don't understands. She talked about all that, and it was so funny in the way she talked about it. And it was just like, what is this lady going to do? But I do truly believe that the village will help her. And she's 70 years old, but who knows? Who knows? She looks healthy. Had to be healthy to go through, she was artificially inseminated. The doctors watched her closely. And again, I saw her sitting like up in bed, and the lady looks good. She looks good. So she looks good. And yeah, I know people say the kids are young, but what is she gonna do? She's gotta run around, chase those kids, and some people don't even like to chase their grandbabies. That may be true, but guess what? A lot of people do chase their grandbabies. So don't get it twisted. A lot of 60 and 70-year-old women have stamina. They have more stamina than you think, because a lot of them do chase their grandbabies. They do chase the grandkids around. So, and like I said, I don't know if she has adult children and who may have kids. I don't know if she has grandkids. But don't get it twisted, y'all. A lot of 70 and 80-year-olds, 60, 70, and 80-year-olds, they have experience. They chase those kids around. Some of them are better at chasing the little toddlers around than their parents are. So, that is a blessing. Like Susan said, it's a miracle. Good luck to them. And hopefully, her family and her village will help with that. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. If you come across this video, leave me a comment. What do you think about the 70-year-old Ugandan woman who just delivered twins on last Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. She delivered twins on last Wednesday. And to me, that was a miracle. That was a blessing first and foremost, because, I mean, she did it because that's what she wanted to do. So before people criticize her and, say, what was she thinking? People do things because that's what they want to do. That's just the bottom line. That's the simplest, easiest explanation there is. People do things because that's what they want to do. That's what they choose to do. I don't know what she believes. Maybe she prayed about it and she felt like it was something she wanted to do. I don't think she did it for attention, because you're only going to get so much attention. Yeah, people are going to talk about it. People are going to help out. I'm sure they're going to be look, Pampers and Huggies have probably already sent her a 2 or 3 year supply of Pampers. They probably already, Johnson & Johnson have probably already sent her a year's supply of, baby products. Who knows? All types of things have probably happened. But even if those things have happened, guess what? That doesn't really, do a lot when it comes to like truly, truly taking care of those kids. So I think this is something that she wanted. She's got it. And, hopefully, just like with any woman, even young women need help with their kids. So help her out. Village, help her out. help her raise those twins. Help her out. Who knows? Like I said, she could be a magnificent grandmother. She could be a magnificent grandmother. I don't know. And she may not have any grandkids. They don't go into detail about it. After I saw it on Sherry, I looked it up and I saw that it is true. Saw the same woman that I saw on Sherry's show. She was just sitting up looking like, I mean, she has in the article, she has a look on her face of like accomplishment. Like, I mean, she looks happy. When I say accomplishment, I don't mean in a smug way. She looks happy. So, like I said, she used a donor egg in her partner's deposit. I'll say that because I don't know what they want us to say on here. And so, she feels like it's a doctor. One of the doctors said it was an extraordinary achievement. So she did go to the fertility specialist. They hooked her up. Now she's got 2 babies. So not 3, 4, 5, but she does have 2. 2 is good. 2 is good. I don't know if she was hoping to have twins, but through her artificial insemination, that's what she got. Looks like she's satisfied, and that's a good thing. I think a lot of us should start to do things that we want to do. It may be outside of the norm for someone else. It may be outside of the norm for the majority. People may think it's unreasonable, but as long as it's reasonable for you and your family, start to do things that you normally wouldn't do. Start to do some things that you normally wouldn't do, but that or that you feel and believe will bring joy to you. Like, don't let age stop you from doing the things that you feel like will bring joy to you. As long as those things don't hurt you, as long as they don't hurt anybody else, I think a lot of people should start to do those things more. Do things that bring joy to you. Don't worry about what the next person thinks, because guess what? That person is going to do what they want to do. It's so fun. It's so strange when I see people like that. It's like they criticize people so bad for the choices that they make and the things that they do. But it's like, aren't you living your life? Aren't you doing it the way you want to do it? Aren't you living by your own standards? So I just think as people, as human beings, we should allow people to live to their standards and just leave them alone. Do you have an opinion? Yeah, but everybody has a what? You know what? So opinions are like what? So, I mean, just like you have an opinion about somebody can have an opinion about you. And I've noticed in life, it seems like those who have the most opinionated people can't take constructive criticism. If y'all still here, if the 7 people, somebody let me know, do you know people like that? The most opinionated people, the people who love to say, that's my opinion, I have a right to my opinion. The most opinionated people can't take criticism. whether it's constructive or not. The most opinionated people can't take criticism. So, Susan, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's actually funny. The most opinionated people will tell you, will read you, will give you a read from head to toe on the things that you should do, the way that you should do them, the things that you did wrong, or you did it the wrong way, and you should go back and do it this way, or you should have never done this. And just because they're privy to it or they see it, they feel like they can like totally like almost destroy you with their own opinion. But when you give an opinion of them, oh my goodness, it's like it's like they explode. If you give an opinion of them, they explode. They can't accept it. It's something that they take negatively, but they sit up and they sit in judgment of other people. I cannot stand that. I cannot stand an opinionated, judgmental person. Because 9 times out of 10, if they're opinionated and they're judgmental like that, they can't take it themselves. They can't take what they dish. And it can be the smallest thing. Like you can have an opinion about the smallest thing with them, and it's like they blow up. It's like, what? Like, who are you? And at the same time, you're sitting there looking like, I'm just doing the same thing that you do all the time. I mean, we have family members like that. We have some friends that may be like that. We have co-workers who may be like that. Just acquaintances that may be like that. It's like sometimes you're just like, geez. I mean, it's okay to have an opinion, but she has an opinion about everything. Everything. And it's usually a negative opinion. Or he has an opinion about everything, and it's usually a negative opinion. And as soon as someone says something to them, it's like war. It's like they want to start a full-out war. Most of the time they are reaching you. Yes, Susan, most of the times they are reaching. Most of the times they're reaching. Most of the times they are putting things in place that aren't in place about you or your life or whoever it is that they're judging or having an opinion, quote unquote, an opinion about. A lot of times they are reaching and they are judging, and they'll put it out there so much so until people will start to believe somebody else's opinion of you as fact. They'll believe someone else's opinion of you as fact. And sometimes people have an opinion of you because you may have had a negative encounter with them, but it still does not make their opinion a fact. And it's so, and when they do that, they know what they're doing. They know that. They know that's what happens. I was talking to someone today. It's called like branding the brain. Branding the brain. When someone says something so much, or you hear something so much, like most of us have heard these local numbers announced on the TV for lawyers or, lawn services, things like that. When you hear that number all the time and they make those jingles, they make a song out of it, they're branding your brain. They're branding your brain. It's a great marketing tool, but it's also used as a tool by some people to destroy stuff, to destroy things. Like, don't let negative branding, don't let a person brand you in a negative light. They can do it. And a lot of times you'll have negative people who they fall for it because they tend to lean toward negativity anyway. But don't fall into the trap of having your brain branded into negativity, because people will definitely brand your brain. They will say something over and over and over. It won't be true. And even if it is true, and if it's something that you think that you can laugh at or you can judge somebody about or you can be hypocritical about. So is there nothing in your life that you've ever done? Is there nothing that you've ever done that someone could point the finger at you and laugh at you or judge you or be hypocritical towards you? And I'm hoping, as I talked about the 70-year-old Ugandan woman who just had twins, I'm hoping that she doesn't face that kind of criticism. But we all know, in the world that we live in, I'm sure social media, especially in her area, when she first delivered on Wednesday, I'm sure opinions blew up. I'm sure and the more and more it's talked about, the more and more people are going to talk about it. Now, when I saw Sherry talk about it, the people in the audience were stunned, and they were kind of like, it was like a gasp. I was stunned. I really was. But then you listen to the story, it's what she wanted. It's what she wanted. And I feel like anytime I can have an opinion about it, but do I think a 70-year-old woman should go for artificial insemination. I don't. But who am I to tell them not to? Who am I to have a negative opinion about it? A lot of the times, the things that we wouldn't do for ourselves, we look at other people and figure they shouldn't do them. And that's just not the way it is. That's just not the way life should be. There are some things that the next person does that I wouldn't do it, but it doesn't mean they aren't supposed to do it. It doesn't mean it's not good for them. It doesn't mean it's not something that fulfills them. So stop looking at people and being so judgmental when they're doing things that fulfill them, when they're doing things that make them happy. When someone does something to make them happy, as long as it's not harming you, why not be happy for them? Be happy for people who are happy. Be happy for people who are happy. No matter what they do to make themselves happy, as long as it's not against the law, as long as they're not breaking the law, as long as they're not violating someone, and especially if they're not violating you and your family, your children, your spouse, your whatever, allow people to be happy. There are a lot of things that go on in this world that each of us can say we don't, agree with, we don't condone, but as long as it's not hurting people, as long as it's not hurting you, and as long as it's not hurting people in general, let people do what they need to do to be happy. Allow people to be happy with the things that make them happy. Period. Most of the time they are reaching, okay, my sister is a fertility nurse and they have people in 60s trying. Yeah. Yep. It's normal these days. It's normal these days. I remember it used to be so shocking to hear maybe a lady that's 50, because ladies in their 50s are delivering naturally. They're not even getting fertility treatments. There are some women who, and then if they do and they don't tell you, so what? That's another thing. You got some people, they'll say, well, there's no way in the world she got pregnant naturally. How do you know? Do you live within her? How do you know? Like, how do you know? Only God knows how many eggs this woman had. When you were born with every egg that you would ever have, unless you go and get artificially inseminated. You were born with every egg that you will ever have. When you were in your mother's womb, you had every egg that you will ever have. So once you're in this world and you're of a certain age, you're 50, you're 51, you're 52. If naturally you still can become pregnant and that's what you want to do, whose business is that besides you, your spouse, your doctors? Whose business is it? It's nobody's. It's nobody's. And the first thing people will say, well, it's in the news, they report on it. Yeah, it is in the news because it's something that, even though it's becoming more natural to happen and more normal these days, it's still something, like Susan said, it's a miracle. It's still, it's still newsworthy. Just because something is newsworthy doesn't mean it has to be viewed as negative, or you have to take it and turn it into something negative. Yes, 70-year-old woman has a baby. Wow. My first thing is, I'm glad she's good. I'm glad she's healthy. I'm glad the babies are healthy. Okay, then we're going to get into this because I am going to have some questions. I'm going to be like, look, what happened? So you got artificially inseminated, you got fertility treatments. How many did you have to get? That kind of stuff is interesting to know. And I don't think anyone would be offended by certain types of questions. We have to be careful in the way that we pose questions to people. Some people don't have tact. Some people lack tact. Some people lack tact. They do. They'll ask you something in the rudest way, or the most obnoxious way, or they just don't have any tact. There are some things that you can ask people it's just like with anything else. It's not the way you say it. It's not what you say, it's the way you say it. And sometimes with questions, it's not so much of it being an inappropriate question, but sometimes the tone that you put on the question is everything. It's almost like delivery. It's just like acting. If you get somebody trying to do a certain role and they don't bring anything to it, and you make this movie, all the actors are kind of like, I won't say newbies, because sometimes newbies are the best ones, but you get these actors who they just really aren't feeling it. Maybe they're just doing it to get paid. It's just something they're just throwing together. You could take that same movie and you get someone who's worked on that craft, or someone who's maybe new but who really wants that big break, and you'll watch that same movie on a different day, and you'll take it, you'll perceive it in a totally different way. It can be one of the most interesting movies that you've ever watched. It can actually be a blockbuster. But when the other set of actors did the movie, it was just like, hmm, huh? It was like, why waste time to do this? So everything is in the way that you do things. A lot of times it's always about the way. It's always about the way that you do things. Hey, Rob. Rob says, hello, Lions Pride, Jill, and everyone. Sometimes it's just the way you do things. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you ask, it's how you ask it. Now, we all know that some questions are just inappropriate, but sometimes you can ask a question that would initially seem to be inappropriate, but if you tone it the right way, you put it the right way, it's okay. So yes, for the 70-year-old lady in Uganda who just had fertility treatments and had those twins, I would have a lot of questions like, what make you decide now? Like, did it just come? What make you decide to have these twins? Because yes, I'm glad you have a village. The village, we need more of the village everywhere. We need more of the village helping young women with children. So this 70-year-old lady has twins. She's going to need help. And I hope and pray that people do help her. Her family helps her. And I would have questions like, were you afraid? Like, were you, because some people aren't afraid of things like that. They're just like, they have it in their mind that if it's to be, it will be. Or they say, if it's the Lord's will, it will happen. So having someone donate you an egg and then your partner do his part and you get artificially inseminated, how did, I just want to know, how did she come to that? Like, so the questions could be inappropriate if I don't ask them the right way, but I'm going to use a lot of tact. Like I said, it's always not so much as is not always in the way you say it. I mean, what you say is the way you say it. And it's not always the question that's bad. It's the way you ask the question. So I would like to know, because I'm curious, like, what make you decide at 70 to do it? Like, have you been thinking about this for the past 10 years or so, past 5 years or so? Do you have children? Maybe she doesn't have any children, and maybe she wants to leave a legacy. Now, granted, there was an egg donor, but maybe her husband wants to leave a legacy. Maybe he didn't have children. And even though there is another donor, this lady delivered those children. So to me, she is leaving a legacy behind. I don't know. And maybe she does have children. Maybe she has grandchildren. Maybe she just wanted to have these twins. Well, maybe she just wanted to have a child, and she ended up with twins. Rob says, child, I could never imagine the energy she needs. I know, Rob, I just looked at her. She was, I saw her on Sherry Shepherd's show first. So I was like, let me look this up. So I looked her up. That lady was sitting like, she was looking like, I'm going to be honest with y'all, she didn't look any more, as far as like her being in the hospital, she just looked like the average woman. Yes, she looked 70. Well, she looked like she could be in her 60s, honestly, to me. But 69, 68, 70, no big difference. She looked her age, but she looked like she was fine, though. She looked like she was sitting up in the bed. Sherry is so crazy. Sherry had a picture of her sitting in bed, and she was looking like, and what? Ross says, I get tired for no reason. That's what Sherry was saying, Ross. That's what I was saying earlier. The way Sherry was talking about it, it was so funny. She said, can you imagine you being 70 and chasing behind these twins? She was like, I can remember just bumping. I had both of them on just each knee, bump, 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 bump. And she was like, just imagine they get into their terrible twos, and then they get into that point where they want to know why. Why this mama? Why that mama? Why this daddy? Why that daddy? She said, then, girl, Sherry took her down through there. She said they get into this where they're babies, and you got to feed this one, you got to feed that one. They get into their terrible twos, and you got to chase behind them when they're 2 and 3 years old, and they're running around doing everything. And I stopped at that moment, and I was like, you know what? That lady's probably just as good as anybody else, because that's what grandmothers do these days anyway. There are so many grandmothers. Well, grandmothers are a lot younger. Well, I don't know. I'll say it like this, because there were grandmothers who were in their late 30s way back in the day before we were born. It just wasn't so many like it is now. So there are grandmothers who are a lot younger. So by the time they're 70, they'll have great grandkids. But there are some 60 and 70-year-old grandmothers, they can handle those toddlers better than the mom. So I'm kind of like, we got to sometimes before we just ask a question. That's why I say I have to use tact and just think about it first, frame my questions, because sometimes when you just look at real life scenarios and situations, how many of us know 60 and 70-year-old grandmothers who have their 2 and 3-year-old toddler grandkids more than the parents do? A lot of them do. So, I don't know if she has kids, like I said, adult kids, and or she doesn't, and maybe she's just like, I want to try one more time, and so she got the fertility treatments. She may have adult kids. I don't know. I would like to find that out. But when we think about it, when we're talking about her age, honestly, there are so many 60, 70, 75-year-old grandmothers who run around daily because their children work and they take care of the grandkids. And they do so better than their children do. Ross says, yep, I'm a grandma, but I get to send them home when I have enough. I know. Ross says she gets to send them home. I know, right, Rock? Look, Rock, when you feel it coming on, your body lets you know, okay, maybe they need to go home now. Jill says, hey, Rock. Rock speaking to Jill. So I'm just like, to me, like, it's a blessing to me, because God allowed it to happen. It doesn't matter how many fertility treatments in the world she got. If God hadn't allowed it to happen, it wouldn't have happened. So yes, does her age make me stop and stare and buck my eyes? Yes, but to each its own. And that's the whole thing about it, is why I wanted to talk about it. I know there are going to be so many people who may have something negative to say, or it may be joking about it. And if it's in a playful way, that's fine. But if it's in a more derogatory way, say that, stop judging people so much. Let people be people. If it makes them happy, it should make you happy. As long as they're not hurting themselves, as long as they're not hurting you or yours or anybody else in general, whatever people do to make them happy, let them be happy. Let them be happy. And if having twins makes her happy, getting that artificial insemination, why would I have something negative to say? I might say something like, you can give an opinion without being ugly, without being rude, without being nasty. Ross says, I have one that follows me around asking questions constantly. I'd be so drained, but I laugh about it. Right. And it was so funny because that's what Sherry was like. She was like, you got them, babies? Come on, babies. And sometimes people think it's hardest when they're babies, but she was like, nah, it might be easier because once they start walking and they're running around, you got to chase them behind them, and you get drained, but you got to do it. And then they get to like 3, 4, and 5, and it's why this, why that, why? You tell them to do something. Why? Why I gotta do this? Why we can't do this? Why do I have to do this? Why this happened? What was that? When is that gonna do this? When are we going here? All these W questions over and over and over. And then it's almost like you get to the point where, like she said, she told her son, stop calling my name. Stop calling my name. And it's like, you don't mean any harm, but sometimes it just wears on you. And these are for young mothers. So imagine 50s, 60s, 70s. And it's like they're in that stage. And then she was like, and oh my goodness, then comes the teenage stage where they're upset. Why can't they're still with the W questions. It's still, why can't I do this? What is this about? Why can't I go with my friends? Why can't I spend the night here? Why can't I do that? And she was like, but then with the why questions also comes the slamming the doors because they got an attitude, the being moody, the not want to talk to you, along with all the other hormonal things that happen in during the teenage years. So you got a lot of why questions still going on that carried on from maybe 3 to 12. I think the why questions kind of stop when they get maybe in like 3rd grade, maybe around 8. The why questions, they still have some why questions, but not as many as they had between like 2 and 8. But then once they become teenagers, the why questions kick back in. So they got all these why questions again. Why can't I do this? Why did you do this? Why was it wrong for me to do this? Why can't I go here? Why can't I pick this up? Why can't I take this class? Why can't I go to her house? Why can't I go to his house? And then she was just like, don't call my name. So then you have, those teenage years where they're slamming the doors. They want to drive. Who's going to teach them to drive. You have to teach them to drive. So at that point, you're saying, Village, come on in, Village. Let's teach them how to drive. You got these twins. What? She's 70 now. So by the time they get 15, she's 85. Okay? So it's just like, Village, come on and help her teach these twins how to drive. And y'all, I would love to know how old her mate is. I don't know how old the mate is. So that's why I was saying, maybe it was something, maybe she wanted this, maybe he wanted it, and so she wanted it for him, and she wanted to be the one to deliver. And maybe they both wanted it. But the thing about it is, she looks happy. I think her mate is happy. So yes, don't even if the fact that she's 70 shock you, don't let it shock and amaze you in a good way. It happened. God allowed it to happen. Because she could have got it, like I said, she could have got 1,000 fertility treatments. If it wasn't going to be, it wasn't going to be. So if it's to be, it will be. It will be. It is what it is. And right now, it is what it is. She has twins. Rock says it's amazing. She was even able to carry. I know, Rock. That's why I was like, because even if the fertility treatments work, at 70, can she carry them? So she was monitored really closely. She was monitored really closely, and that just lets you know too. She's from Uganda. I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to see, did she deliver in Uganda? The Women's Hospital International and Fertility Center. So one of her doctors worked at that center. So I'm trying to. It says Uganda. It says in Uganda, so it happened in Uganda. So that lets you know too that a lot of places around the world that we may think that they are like, they can't offer certain types of medical services and things like that. Some of us may be behind, because I don't know. I've never been to Uganda. I know where it is. I've never been. Well, I would like to go. But just initially off the bat, I don't know if I would have believed that they could have watched her closely in Uganda. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say, I don't know if I would have even thought that they had the medical services there to watch a 70-year-old lady as she go through her pregnancy. But apparently they did. And I'm sure that they had the help of other doctors that came in, and that helped her. And and you have a lot of doctors who probably just wanted to be a part of this. A lot of times we may say, and I can hear somebody right now, what was that 70-year-old lady thinking? Why is she having these? Let her be. Like, let her be. My thing is, I'm really enjoying the fact that she did it, because it gives me something to talk about, gives me something to think about. And if I was going to question her, I wouldn't question her as to why, because to me, the obvious answer is that she wanted to, or maybe her mate wanted to. Maybe I would ask that, but I would make sure I would ask it the right way, just to see, because you just never know. And it may just be, maybe, like I said, maybe she wanted to, and the mate was like, okay, I'm with it, vice versa. Maybe they both wanted it. I would like to know if she has children, other children, their ages. How long did she wait to have them, or what age was she when she had her first child? And she may not have kids. So I would ask her stuff like that, like if she has kids. And was this right now, did she decide, when she did decide to get these treatments, was it because, if she has kids, was it because she just wanted to have some more? Or is it because she never had kids and she's like thinking, okay, I want to do this and I'm going to do it now. I know it may seem like I'm doing it too late for some people, but I'm going to do it now. So that's in the message I get from it all, is that never give up on what you're trying to do. No matter what someone else thinks about it, your dream is your dream. If it's not fulfilled, then it was your dream. If it is fulfilled, it's your dream. So whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you plan to do, you got people who they're buying their first homes at 60 years old. And you have a negative Nancy that'll say, 60, by the time they get done paying for the house, what good is it going to be? You're 80 years old. It'll be a lot of good. It'll be theirs still. They may have never owned a home in their lives. And you have some people who are homeowners, and they realized owning a home wasn't it for them. They realized owning a home wasn't it for them. They don't like to keep up. They just, they felt like maybe the money I put in that home, before I buy another one, I'll invest that in just somewhere to live peacefully during my golden years and be taken care of. Everybody's goal isn't to buy and own a home early in life. And even for those who do have their goal, sometimes they change their minds. You have some people, their goal is to buy many homes, to have 2 or 3 homes. And that's good. If they can afford that, if they can, that's good. But you have those who, you have some celebrities, and we know they can afford it. They buy homes and sell them like candy. Like it's like just, it's just to each his own. It's what people want to do. So I've seen people that maybe start a job at 60, or and they get criticized for it. And it was like, I know people who they may have 10 years with their state retirement plan. So at 60 years old, they may have just been doing their own thing, away from the state. And they're like, you know what, I've saved up some money, but I do still have this money in this retirement plan. So they go back to work at 60 and they work until they're 70. And guess what? At 75, they're somewhere on somebody's yacht. So people do things in their own time and in their own way. So let happy people be happy. Let happy people be happy in the way that it makes them happy. Can you have an opinion? Of course you can. We all can have opinions. But your opinion isn't what feeds them. Your opinion isn't what motivates them. Your opinion is just that, your opinion. We all have one, like we all have a... Ross says, we never know. Right. They're here, so it was God's will. Exactly. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it on Rock. They're here, so it's God's will. They may be destined for greatness. Exactly. Exactly. And she could be 90 years old and they could be 20. And she could be seeing them live out their dreams, and just, they could make her the happiest 90-year-old there's ever been. And she saw that. So like you said, it is God's will, because if it wasn't, all the fertility treatments in the world, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant and she wouldn't have carried it. And so I'm like, you're right, that is amazing. That's amazing that she was able to carry those twins. Because I don't know, but she was probably, I'm looking for more information. She was probably looking to get one, but like with most fertility treatment, a lot of times people end up with twins, triplets, quadruplets, stuff like that. So I'm glad it was twins, and hopefully, it didn't wear on her body so much. But she does look like she feels good. We can't push our feelings and beliefs onto others. Exactly. Exactly. And my thing is, there are a lot of things that I don't believe in, or I don't like, or I wouldn't do myself personally, but I don't judge others for it. The only time I'm going to judge it is if it's like hurting somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like there are a lot of things that people do that. Am I still alive? I think I'm still live. Can y'all hear me? I got a phone call. Of course I got a phone call. I started to just let it ring. But I didn't let it ring because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was important. When I thought about it, I looked at the number again. I was like, okay, I know that number. I'll call them back. So you can't still hear me? Okay, Susan, thank you. Because it makes my screen, when I got that phone call, it made my screen look totally different. It says, okay, rotate device back. I never rotated it, but maybe when the call came through, it rotated. But yes, y'all, I think that's a prime. I just look at her example, and I probably, on initially seeing it, I was like, no way. I know she didn't. But science is so advanced now, technology is so advanced, but at the end of the day, God controls it all. So I know a lot of times, for those who don't believe, they think everything is science. Everything is science and technology. Definitely, they think that everything is scientific. Okay, who allows that? That's what I've always thought. That's always been my thought and my take on that. Who allows that? So if you're a scientific person, fine. I believe in science, but I also believe in a greater power. I know who controls it all. So for her to have those babies, again, I would just have a select, group of questions that I would ask the right way, like what made her decide now? Has she been considering it for a long time? When she thought about her age, which I'm sure she did, What did she think that made her say, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm 69, I'm 70, but I'm gonna do this. If it works, this is still what I want. It may not work, but if it does work, it good, because this is what I want. So, what made her decide to, because I mean, she could have waited until she was 75. So either way, somebody's gonna say something. Someone's gonna judge it. So I would be curious to know, like, what made her decide now. Because when we're 70 years old, who knows what we'll want to do? Who knows what we'll want to do? And the way some of these young women act these days, some of them act like they're afraid of getting old. Some of them act like they're afraid of turning 40. So I'm sure they're going to use a lot of science and technology to try to keep them forever young too. I mean, I think every generation has used science or whatever technology was available at the time, you know, to feel young, to be young. I think a lot of us should do it more the natural way of exercising and moving around. Now, that being said, exercising and stuff, it doesn't mean you won't encounter some health issues, because some health issues are genetically passed down. Some aren't genetically passed down. They just pop up in a particular person. But still, if you do have health issues, that's why when I say I encourage everybody to walk, most healthcare providers will employ everyone to move. Because just moving around, even though you may have your issues, it still helps you to feel more, it helps you to maybe feel more rejuvenated than it would if you didn't. Like if you have diabetes or if you have high blood pressure, you just kind of sling around and lunk around. Well, if you at least get up and walk for 20, 30 minutes a day, if your blood pressure starts to act a little funny, a little crazy, if your heart starts to beat a little funny, a little crazy, or if your diabetes starts to act up, if your cholesterol seems like it just won't move, even though you're exercising, or if you do something, at least doing something, hopefully it will allow you to heal faster, or it'll allow you to make better adjustments just by the fact that that walking just 15, me personally, I say 30, but if that's the only exercise you get, if you do it at least 20 minutes, no less than 15 minutes a day, hopefully whatever you're going through, it'll help you to be able to tolerate that better. That's just like athletes. When athletes break a limb, God forbid, why do they heal so much faster than we do? One is because they're young, of course, but even the more mature athletes heal faster because they're always doing something. They're always exercising. They're always, they're always moving around. They're always doing something. So it's best to try your best to just move around. Even if you're sitting in a chair, move your arms. Get a stepper. Like Rock has a stepper, puts it under the desk and just move your legs, do something. When you get up to go to the restroom, stretch. Each time you go to the restroom, take that opportunity to do 12 squats, ladies. When people say they don't have time to exercise, they probably don't. They may have really busy schedules, but I always suggest it to my clients. When you feel like you don't have time to exercise, guess what? You have to use the restroom at least 3 times a day or so, right? So every time you go use the restroom, every time you go to the ladies' room, every time you go to the men's room, take that time to do 10 to 12 squats. And by the end of the day, you've done 3 sets of squats. If you hand wash your dishes, whatever you're doing, if anything requires you to stand for like 2 to 3 minutes, stretch your calves. Do some stretches. Yeah, see, like Ross said, she has that bike under her desk. I knew, like, my daughter does that. She takes her stepper and she just steps. She loves that thing everywhere. Brings it home. Just sitting around doing nothing. Get up, use it. And a lot of times, again, if you do have health issues, anything I say in these videos is not meant to take the advice of your doctor or your healthcare provider. But I do know that most healthcare professionals want you to move, at what rate and to what degree, you may have to discuss that with them. But the minimum is like 15. And you don't have to be, again, I always say you don't have to be a marathon runner. You don't have to be a triathlete. You don't have to be in a triathlon. You don't have to be a triathlete. Just move. Just move. As opposed to a week of just experiment. take a week and do nothing. Just whatever you need to do, go to work and all this stuff, come home. Yes, of course you move some of you at work or whatever. But then take another week, the next week, and walk for 20 minutes each day. And that third week, at the beginning of that third week, see that you notice a difference. Just see that you notice a difference in the way that you feel. Yes, right. Those whenever you can do stuff like that at work, it's so convenient. It's so convenient. So that's why I always say, if you don't have time, do things, or I mean, Google is your friend. Google can be something else, but Google is definitely your friend. YouTube is your friend. Find ways and ideas to incorporate some form of exercise. And if you have health issues, talk to your healthcare provider to make sure what degree of exercise is good for you. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to want you to at least walk. At least move your arms. Because it helps. It'll only help. And I truly believe that no matter what health issues you have going on, again, if you have blood pressure issues, heart issues, most doctors still want you to do that. But don't take my advice completely on that. Just look it up and talk to your healthcare provider about it. You're not going to be able to go out there and run a mile within 10 minutes. No, but does he want you to move? Does she want you to move? I'm sure they do. But check with them and see. To make sure, because we never know. We don't know each other, to know what all is going on with each other. But we do know each other enough to encourage each other. And I do encourage each and every one of you guys, the same way that you guys are so encouraging by coming into the live, leaving comments and chatting. So during this holiday season, try to be as positive as possible. I tell you that, we're human. We're not going to always be happy. We're not going to always be positive. We're going to want to curse. We're going to want to kick. We're going to want to punch the air sometimes. But try your best. Just try your best. Whether you celebrate the holidays or not, try to take this time to be happy and carefree. It's a festive time of the year. So whatever you do, just enjoy festivities. Enjoy and I'm telling you, I know it may be cold where you are, but usually if you just get out a little bit and take in some of that cold air, make sure you bundle up, but breathe in some of that cold air. Like I say, some deep breaths in and out, Do your thing. Move around. When you go to Walmart, when you go to your mall, don't park right there in the door. Don't fight for the first 1 or 2 parks. Don't feel like that's an accomplishment. Park way out and walk. That can be part of your walking, especially if you're just getting started. And if you can, again, if you don't have any health issues that prevent that, park as far as possible and walk. And if you do have something going on, when you get to the store, ask them for the scooter. But guess what? You have gotten some walking in. So I encourage you guys, I implore you guys to get up and walk, to take deep breaths in and out, to try to relax your mind. Always check your blood pressure, especially if you're over 40. Check your blood pressure once a month. It doesn't have to run in your family. Thank you, Rock. I try. I know we see a lot of stuff on here. We like a lot of stuff on here. I like a lot of stuff on here. But when I come on here, it's like some of the stuff I just can't do myself. So the only thing I want to do is just implore people to try to be healthy, mentally, emotionally, physically, in all avenues of life. Will we be upset sometimes? Yes, we will. Will we be mad sometimes? Yes, we will. Will we encounter people who will try our nerves and our patience, test our patience? Yes, we will, especially if you're short patience anyway. But try to woosah. Try to take some deep breaths. Try to count to 10. That counting to 10, that one never worked for me. The counting to 5, the counting to 10, that never worked for me. Because by the time I even think about that, it's not even thought about. So, that's a flaw I had. That's a flaw that I had. That's a flaw that I still have. And I think that I encourage people all the time to, acknowledge your own flaws. We do have flaws sometimes, and sometimes we pop off too quickly. Sometimes we say, now, unless you're a very patient person, there are some people who are really patient. I respect those people to the utmost. I really do. Because that's something I've always wished I had, was more patience. Like if I'm standing in line and I see this one person, I'll leave it there. I will leave it there. It could be my Thanksgiving. It could be my Christmas meal. I'll stay if somebody else is with me there. But if I just really, really have to have it. But if it's say like 3 or 4 weeks before I really need it, I'm like, you know what? Forget this. I'll come back. So I really do commend people who have patience. Patience is a virtue. I wish I had more patience. I wish I did. So I just come on here to try to get some encouraging words, some advice, because I'm knowing I'm not right. I'm not just right. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's perfect. Acknowledge your flaws and the things that you do well. Try to pass those things on to other people. Try to pass those things on to your children, to your family members, to your friends, to your acquaintances, to your coworkers. And sometimes remember them for yourself. Sometimes remember those things for yourself. There are a lot of times where we have to kind of reel ourselves in mentally, physically, emotionally, and reset. Reset. You gotta reset. Reset and get it right. Or reset and at least try your darndest to get it right. So that being said, y'all, I've been on this YouTube live for 1 hour and 11 minutes. Thank you, Rock Just Living. Y'all, please check out Rock Just Living. Please, Rock, if you can, if you're not too busy, I know you might be at work, drop your link. Jill's Comfort Zone, please drop your link if you're still here. I'm going to try to see if I can do it. Just in case you guys can't. I do truly appreciate you. Y'all, please go check out Rock Just Living. She's vlogging. Rock, you are doing Vlogmas, right? Are you doing Vlogmas? I know Tennessee Michelle is. Y'all check out Tennessee Michelle. She's doing Vlogmas. Jill's Comfort Zone. Susan Dawson, thank you for coming into the live. You're the first one here. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that came in and spent some time with me today. And we talked about the 70-year-old mother. Thought I was going to say 70-year-old grandmother, didn't you? No, we talked about the 70-year-old mother of her new set of twins. 70-year-old lady. Blessings to her. I'm wishing her the best. I'm wishing her children the best. I'm wishing her longevity to see those children grow up to do whatever it is that they want to do, whatever it is that she encourages them to do. Susan says, good to see you. I enjoyed. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you too. I enjoyed you. And I'm so still praying for you and your husband. It's good that he's finished his treatments. I know that he's happy about it. I know that you're happy about it. So that is a blessing. That is definitely a blessing. Thank you for coming in. Again, thank you, Rock. Thank you, Jill. I think I am going to drop these links. Let me get to... I'm trying... Y'all know how it is when you get a different device and then you start talking. And it just... Oh, my God. It sounds so awful. It sounds so loud. Okay. Now it's acting up. But I'm going to see. I think it's going to let me do it. Where's my chat? I can't see the chat. I'm on a different phone. I'm on another phone. I can't see the chat. That's crazy. Okay, I see it now. I'm about to get Rock. I'm about to get Jill. Susan, you start creating content. I know you probably been too busy for that. Too busy. But I still share you guys out anyway. Even if you don't create content, I still share you out because, you know, you may decide to do that one day. And if you decide to do it, you'll already have your subscribers. You'll already be. No, you don't. Okay. I didn't think so. But I want to make sure. So there's Rock Just Living. If you come into this live, if you come across this replay, please click on that link and go over there and subscribe to Rock Just Living. She's vlogging. She's always vlogging. The beauty tips are wonderful. The facials, the me time, the self-care. If you want to know, if you want to see a lot of good self-care videos, go over there to Rock Just Living. You want to see some videos of a woman who's just out there enjoying life and sharing her family with you, go over there and check out Rock Just Living. Jill's Comfort Zone, if you want to see some good old cooking or just some good old conversation, some good old poetry contest. There's another one coming up, y'all. Go over there and check out Jill's Comfort Zone. Please check her out. Both of these ladies are multi-talented. Their channels are multifaceted. So go over there and check them out, please. I would appreciate you because I do appreciate the support that they give me. And like I always say, I think everything is about support. You know, positive support positive content, support informational content, support educational content, support content that makes you feel good, support content that's meant to make you feel good, support content that uplifts you. And if you come across this video, you have not subscribed to me, please subscribe if you don't mind. Tap my doorbell. It's better known as the YouTube notification bell so that you'll know the next time I upload a video or go live. So that you'll know that. And come on back. If you didn't subscribe, come back again. subscribe later. Maybe I'll come up in your recommendations. But go check out one of my walk and talk videos. I might not walk and talk now because I've been on here talking for an hour and 16 minutes. An hour and 16 minutes. Susan says, just subscribe to Rock and have Jill. Okay, I thank you, Susan, so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing to Rock Just Living. Jill, Susan has you. So with that being said, I hope you guys continue to have a great day, a great new Monday, a great new week. And for the 70-year-old new mother in Uganda, great new beginnings, 2 of them, blessings. Blessings, blessings, blessings. And that being said, I'm about to get out of here. I don't even know how to end this live, y'all. I don't even know how to end the live. What the heck? Hey, Spiky. What's going on, Spiky? Glad to see you, Spiky. Spiky, we've been talking about the 70-year-old lady that just had a set of twins on Wednesday. Just talking about the fact that I would love to have a conversation with her and to just, ask her what made her decide now at 70. Why not at 50? Why not at 75? But what made her decide to get fertility treatments at 60, maybe, who knows? She probably started at 68. But 68, 69, 70. But at 70, she's delivered her babies. So I'm really curious to know what made her decide now. I'm curious to know if she has children, other adult children, if she has grandchildren or not. So there are a lot of questions I would love to ask her. Go check it out, y'all. Go read up on her. She's 70 years old. Let me see her name. I saw her name. Her name is, she's a Ugandan woman. Her name is Safina. Her first name is Safina. Y'all gonna have to work with me on the last name. It's Numukwaya. Numukwaya. It's either Numukwaya or Numukwaya. Serena Numukwaya. Serena Manukwaya. Safina. 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 That part is easy, but the last name, Namukwafa. No, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's Namukwaya. Namukwaya. I think that's what it is. Y'all. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to say her name. I'm trying to figure out how to end this live. I haven't done a YouTube live stream and I don't know when. I don't know how to end it. Good God Almighty. Ain't that crazy? Okay, look, I'm putting up all kinds of stuff. Let's save, highlights, enable. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, I do that. Am I done? No, I don't want to start a poll. Spiky says, hey, Susan. I'm back? Y'all, I thought I ended it. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Yes, I'm sure. Bye, y'all. Okay, I see it, y'all. Yes, I'm sure. Bye, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Happy holidays. I will see you guys either later or tomorrow on my Walk and Talk Live. Bye, y'all.